Live from Minnesota's news channel, KSTP Channel 5, Mike Binkley, Karen Falloon, and Mark Stevens bring you Eyewitness News.
The pageantry continues at the Olympic Winter Games in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. 150 hot air balloons have filled the sky with a rainbow of color as the first full day of competition begins, as 18 Minnesota athletes come one step closer to the coveted gold medal. Good evening, everyone. I'm Angela Storr. Mike Binkley is on assignment at the Winter Games. Our coverage begins with Wendy Lubavitch and Mark Curtis live via News Star in Calgary. And I guess this is a big night for some Minnesota athletes, isn't it?
It sure is, Angela.
Absolutely.
Good evening. Welcome, everyone, to Calgary. It's a beautiful night here in Calgary. As you can see, we're wearing sweaters again. It warmed up in the past, hour or so.
Really warmed up.
Yes. Mark and I have been watching some of the action on the ice today.
Specifically, the efforts of some of the Minnesota speed skaters. Coming up in just a little while, Minnetonka's Nick Thometz will skate his first race of these Olympic Games, the men's 500. Now, 3 months ago, Thometz would have been the clear favorite to win it. In fact, 3 months ago, he was billed as America's best hope for a gold medal. But since then, he's had some health problems. Rob Lear joins us now from just outside the Olympic Village. And Rob, I know that Nicky is looking forward to his skate tonight, but has he regained enough strength, do you think, to win a medal?
Well, Nick himself said, Mark, he wouldn't know for sure until he steps on the ice a couple of blocks from where we're standing here from the Olympic Village. But it has, as you point out, been a very difficult time here over the last couple of months from Nick Thometz because of that blood disorder. Even though he is the world record holder in the event he'll skate in tonight, he still must be waiting and wondering how he'll perform on the ice.
I think it's all there. I'm just going to put it together and give it a shot. I see there's no reason why I can't win a medal.
4 years ago, Thometz almost won an Olympic medal. He finished fourth in Sarajevo by 1/100th of a second. Some athletes may have been satisfied coming so close, but not Nick, who returned to the track to train in hopes of redeeming himself here in Calgary.
I just want to go out there and be relaxed, think about things that I want to do in the race, and hopefully once the gun goes off, everything just flows, and you know, I think that's going to happen.
Thometz is a recent graduate of the School of Positive Thinking, and it's a good thing. The days being featured on a cereal box cover are behind him. This winter, he's gained a great deal of attention because of a blood disorder, which landed him in the hospital 2 months ago.
If I don't worry about it, I think it won't be a problem, so I'm just going to go out there and skate my hardest.
So Nick will go to the line here tonight, trying to beat the odds and beat his world record in the first indoor speed skating event ever held during Olympic competition. And that venue is expected to turn out world record times, but whether or not Nick Thometz turns in one of those, we'll all find out in the next hour. Mark?
All right, Rob, we'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock. Unfortunately, as you probably know, there is some sad news to report here today. Speed skater Dan Jansen lost his sister Jane to leukemia this afternoon. Jansen, who had dedicated his performance to her, says that he will skate in tonight's 500-meter race. There are some shots of Jansen in practice this afternoon. He says he will stay on through Thursday's 1,000-meter race before flying home to West Allis, Wisconsin for the funeral. Needless to say, our deepest sympathies go out to the family and to Dan Jansen. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll take a look at Team USA hockey and their impressive victory last night over Austria. Also, we'll hear from Mike Eruzione, who captained the 1980 hockey team that surprised the world.
We have big hopes for the hockey team this year, don't we? Good game last night.
Well,
we've been telling you a lot about this Olympic torch that has been making its way through Calgary. Well, last night, the Olympic torch made its final stop. That was in Canmore. The bitter cold did not damper the enthusiasm of crowds who lined the streets to get a glimpse of the flame from Greece. The torch was passed hand by hand down the street. Everyone just wanted to touch the flame that symbolizes international sportsmanship and peace. Now, Canmore, by the way, is a little town that is about an hour away from Calgary, and that is where all the Nordic skiing events will be taking place. It's a beautiful town.
Oh, and such a windy day up today in the Kiska at Mount Allen. 70, 80, 90 mile an hour winds. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but right now I guess we should go back to the studio and Angela.
All right, we'll check in with you guys later. Thanks a lot. This has been another big day for another form of competition, only it was happening along the campaign trail, but not before Republican presidential candidate Bob Dole took time out from his schedule to go to church in Manchester. Gary Hart, who's running low in the field going into the New Hampshire primary, also went to church this morning in Manchester. With the New Hampshire primary just around the corner, we have our political reporter Pat Milan on the scene, and he joins us now live via News Star 5. And Pat, I guess time is running out for these candidates.
Time is running out, and believe it or not, we do have a surprise here. We're almost at the eve of the primary. The primary is on Tuesday. The Eyewitness News Gallup poll shows, if it is correct at least, that there will be an upset. And we'll show you the Republican race first because that is where some very interesting numbers have come in. The polling was done on Friday and Saturday. There you see Bob Dole, Senator Bob Dole, beating George Bush in our poll, 36 to 28%. Jack Kemp and Pat Robertson in a statistical tie for third, and Pierre DuPont at 7%. Now you say, why is that big news? Just 1 month ago, we polled New Hampshire, a similar size poll, and this George Bush owned this state. He had better than a 10-point lead, and now he has lost that lead, and he is about 8 points behind Senator Dole at this point. That would be a major upset and would be a big problem for George Bush as he pushed on in the campaign as it goes next to Minnesota and South Dakota. As for the Democrats, Michael Dukakis continues to hold a stranglehold on the numbers here. 39% to Gephardt, who is with 18. Dick Gephardt is way up after his performance in Iowa, and he is statistically tied with Simon. There you see Jesse Jackson with 7%, Albert Gore with 5%, Bruce Babbitt with 5%, and Gary Hart with 3%. The numbers are very surprising, Angela, and I believe that they will be pretty close. They have a plus or minus factor of about 5%, and we were very surprised to see them. We knew that George Bush was slipping. We had seen it in a couple of other polls, but nothing has seen a poll as dramatic as this one that we got just an hour ago.
Pat, it seems that the Democrats are going at each other more than you told us that they were in Iowa. What's happening?
Yeah. They were real nice to each other in Iowa, as a matter of fact. Last night in a debate here, they started going after one another, and they all specifically went after Michael Dukakis. He's the front runner, and you're going to see more of that. And at 10 o'clock tonight, you'll see that the Republicans are starting to go after each other more, too. So this is where the heat really comes on. It's time for the gut check for the candidates, because many of them will not go on from here.
All right. Thank you very much, Pat. We have word today that Minnesota Attorney General Hubert Humphrey III is going to announce his candidacy for the Senate on Wednesday. Humphrey wants Senator Durenberger's seat. Thousands of Minnesota youngsters have trouble learning in the classroom. It's because they have trouble paying attention. We'll explain what's being done to help them. And a look at a woman who may have your Valentine.
Someone has sent me Happy Valentine's Day. I've come here just to say there's someone.
Another 30 seconds of common sense. The Hyundai XL GLS versus the Sentra GXE, the Mazda 323 Luxury, or the Corolla LE. Ready? Air conditioning, check. Power sunroof, check. AM/FM cassette, check. Alloy wheels, check. Now check this. The Hyundai XL GLS with all these goodies still costs less than the competition without any of the goodies. Check for yourself.
Test drive an XL at your Twin Cities Hyundai dealer. We sell cars that make sense.
Even as America's elderly population grows more and more, some people in government want to help less and less by cutting back on care for our most vulnerable citizens.
Some water. I need my...
Is cutting vital public services the way to run our country? There are answers, but it means asking more of our government, not less.
I wish someone would help me.
America, it's time for new priorities.
Hey, Georgie, baby, congrats! Highland's going all out to celebrate your birthday.
Well, it's only for a few days.
Georgie, people are saving big at Highland just because of you. That's a great gig, sweetheart.
Now through Monday, save on this JVC compact disc player with digital filter. Just $167 during Highland's George Washington's birthday sale.
Hope to see you there, Ben. After all, a penny saved is a penny earned.
And he who hesitates is lost.
And a stitch in time saves 9.
And never eat spinach with a stranger.
Save 3 ways at Towsley Ford and Towsley Subaru. It's a gigantic red, white, and blue tag sale through this Monday only. You'll find big discounts on every red tag car and truck. Bigger discounts on all white tag vehicles. Our biggest discounts on every blue tag vehicle. Blue tag Festivas and Subaru Justies are reduced to $55.88. $55.88 for a brand new car. Over 1,000 vehicles tagged. Every car and truck in stock. Follow the searchlight till 10 every night to Towsley Ford and Towsley Subaru, White Bear Lake.
You've heard of sunken treasure. How about a safe sunken in the river? That's right, a safe, like this one, found this morning by Minneapolis Park Police. Now, someone took it from the police impound lot, broke into the back of it, took the contents, then threw the safe in the Mississippi. Police were going to examine it for fingerprints before it was stolen. Speaking of thefts and crime, some studies indicate that a learning disability in children may be responsible for a life of crime later on. They suffer from attention deficit disorder, and John Wingate tells us efforts are underway to help these children.
8-year-old Benjamin Anderson and his sister Sarah have trouble in school. Both suffer from attention deficit disorder, a chemical imbalance that leaves up to 5% of all children inattentive and often disruptive.
It's very, very hard for them to concentrate on their work. And they're a child who is usually very bright and doesn't live up to the ideal that we know he can do better.
Legislation pending in the State House and Senate would make attention deficit disorder a handicapping condition. That would make these children eligible for special classroom instruction. Sherry Hickok, who heads a national ADD support group, is leading the drive.
If a child was having a lot of difficulties, that child would be able to be monitored by special ed, and then they would be able to develop an education plan to help that child be more successful in school.
No state currently considers ADD as a handicap. The Minnesota Department of Education calls it a behavioral problem controllable with medication. Officials say giving these children extra help could cost up to $20 million. Lawmaker Phil Rivness says many ADD kids who fail in school fail in life. That, he says, outweighs cost concerns voiced by many educators.
What they're failing to do is to subtract what we already spend on these kids in special programs designed for failure kids, programs to try to encourage people who have dropped out of school to come back in, diversionary programs for kids who are chemically dependent or who are involved with the juvenile justice system.
Hearings on the attention deficit issue will be held later this spring as the state tries to decide how much it can do to address the special learning needs of up to 60,000 Minnesota students. John Wingate, Channel 5 Eyewitness News at the Capitol.
Some good news for Minnesota farmers tonight. The government says farm income is rebounding and is expected to rebound even more in the next few years. The downside of the latest research indicates that fewer government subsidies will hurt dairy farmers. Okay, by now, if you don't already know, you're probably in trouble because this is Valentine's Day. You know, the day the cards, flowers, and candy get passed out. But Lou Harvin reports it's also a big day for the singing telegram, and that could mean a lot of changes.
Thought it was Superman who was so fast he could change clothes in a flash, in a phone booth, or revolving door. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Meet Elise Christensen, a local model and actress who changes clothes as many as 15 times in one afternoon. For the past 4 years, she has been moonlighting, doing those singing telegrams.
So, John, someone has sent me to you.
But she caters to whatever character you like. And unlike Superman, Elise says her toughest job is finding a place to change. Alyssa, do you ever like change in phone booths or anything like that?
Oh, I've gotten real good at changing in my car, that's for sure. When it gets real cold out, I'll stop somewhere.
Today, Elise had 8 stops to make. She says the best part of this is getting people to enjoy themselves, if even for a few minutes.
What, hello, you cutie. Hello, you beauty. Have I got news for you? Look at the camera. Hey, gift from your...
Lou Harvin, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Okay, you've seen the snappy approach of one woman to Valentine's Day, but a more traditional approach is also underway. That story and the forecast coming up.
I wish Grandpa was here. Wonder why he had to see the doctor.
Hey, you been doing any fishing this year, Phil?
You bet. At Group Health, we believe in taking care of little things before they become big things. And you'll get the finest personal attention from your own doctor.
Everything's okay. We caught it in time.
Hey, pal, how'd they bite?
Grandpa!
Group Health. Quality health care for life.
It's the biggest automotive sale of the year, and it's going on now in White Bear Lake. 13 volume dealerships together in one location for one huge sale. 25 different makes, 4,000 new cars, and almost 2,000 used cars. It's the White Bear Auto Dealers President's Day Sale-a-thon. 2 solid miles of selection with rebates, low-interest financing, and President's Day savings on Highway 61 from Highway 36 to White Bear Lake. The White Bear Auto Dealers President's Day Sale-a-thon. Don't miss it.
Winter got you down? Think spring with us at the Minneapolis Home and Garden Show, February 18th through the 21st. You'll see over 400 exhibitors. The exciting new Intercept home, another spectacular Kohler bath exhibit, Jerry Baker, America's Master Gardener, on Thursday and Friday, the house with ears that listens to your needs, 3 new Swedish gardens, and lots more. Enjoy a delightful winter break at the Midwest's largest home and garden show, Minneapolis Auditorium, Thursday through Sunday, February 18th to the 21st.
Ben Noterman of Shakopee was one of dozens of patients at Abbott Northwestern Hospital to receive a special singing Valentine today. Students of music therapy at the University of Minnesota tuned up for the day and roamed from room to room delivering their songs of love. The students already know how music can uplift the heart on Valentine's Day and every day. And it's a good thing that we're feeling warm of heart today on this Valentine's Day, because in western Minnesota, I guess things are getting pretty chilly.
Chilly? Well, actually, it's blizzard conditions.
A little more than chilly.
A little more than chilly. Now, actually, it's deceiving because here in the Twin Cities, we actually didn't get the wind until this afternoon, but it's been windy since late last night in northwestern and parts of western Minnesota. The reason is a storm system is now centered over eastern Iowa, and that's moving toward southeastern corner of Wisconsin. And just on the backside of that system, actually on the northwestern side, the rather windy conditions have produced blizzard conditions since late last night over northwestern, west central Minnesota into the eastern Dakotas. In fact, some roads are closed in portions of west central Minnesota. Blizzard conditions still a problem over the southwestern corner of the state. And there are advisories right now as that storm system continues on its way over the Great Lakes. This conditions will gradually be improving. However, blizzard warnings are out for southwestern corner, including Fairmont, Worthington, Redwood Falls, Wilmer, Windham. In fact, in this area of southwestern Minnesota, they're saying unless it's an emergency, don't travel into that area. The Twin Cities area is not included, but from southeastern Minnesota through Iowa to the eastern Dakotas, advisories are still out for blowing snow. Now, again, the conditions will be improving. Now, looking at the radar, we actually had some snow earlier this morning, but it wasn't until early this afternoon until it started showing up around the Twin Cities area, just light snow moving to the southeast. Right now on the radar, we are picking up just a few scattered snow showers over the metro area. These continue on their way to the southeast. And although light snow is still being reported over parts of west central and southwestern Minnesota, it's too light to pick up. With our light snow and flurries, we now have a temperature of 24 degrees. The dew point 17, the relative humidity 74%. Winds are out of the north at 16 miles an hour. The wind chill is 0, and the pressure is on the rise. Our high today was 26 degrees after a low of 19, and we've had just a trace of snowfall with those flurries on and off throughout the day. Well, now that storm system will be moving through the eastern Great Lakes, and we will actually be in between systems tomorrow, with the next one to affect our weather beginning on Monday night. In fact, throughout this whole week, it looks like we'll have clouds and a chance for some light snow every other day this week. So for tonight, though, we have the snow and blowing snow at least into the evening hours, flurries then after midnight with diminishing winds, and our lows single digits. Waking up, we have partly cloudy skies 2 degrees above 0, with the winds having diminished to about 10 miles an hour. The rest of the day, sunny to partly cloudy with those high temperatures in the mid to upper teens. Monday night, possibility of some snow developing with lows in the lower teens, and then on Tuesday, light snow again with highs upper 20s to near 30 degrees. Looking ahead, we have a break again on Wednesday with a chance of light snow on Thursday, and all the while we have rather mild temperatures with the nighttime lows in the teens and daytime highs in the 20s, and that's slightly above or near normal for this time of year. So
I just can't believe the temperatures in Calgary.
I know. 40 degrees?
Pretty nice.
That's nice.
Thank you, Karen. We'll be back with more from Calgary and some goings-on around the Twin Cities sports scene in just a moment.
Get ready. Get going. It won't stay long. Get that bold new taste before it's gone.
McDonald's Cheddar Melt.
Head for that beef, a quarter pound on a light rye bun. Nothing like it around.
McDonald's Cheddar Melt.
With cheddar cheese sauce, grilled onions too. A bold new taste from McDonald's to you. Take along for the ride, super-sized fries. It's a good time for the great taste.
Cheddar Melt.
Of McDonald's for a limited time.
Savings as big as Texas continue in celebration of 4 new Wick stores in Dallas-Fort Worth with a spectacular half-price bedroom sale. Save $800 on this 4-piece contemporary oak bedroom, now only $799.98. Save $800 on this 5-piece country bedroom, also only $799.98. And no payments or finance charges for 90 days when you use or open a Wix charge.
Wix, surprisingly Wix.
Dodge Dakota 4x4. When you consider that it comes loaded with the best truck warranty on or off the road, more available payload than any competitive compact 4x4 in the country, and a fuel-injected V6 engine S10 and Ranger charge extra for, it's easy to see. Only one size 4x4 has it all. It's gotta be the mid-size Dodge Dakota.
Save up to $2,400 with cash back and prospector package discounts on selected trucks in stock.
You know, this has been a really big season for sports. We had the Twins, the Vikings, and now the Olympics.
It lets some folks build up their frequent flyer mileage. Some folks, like the guy go out there in Calgary.
Hi, Mark.
Talking about Minnesotans on ice.
Yeah, when we're all done, we'll give you some of our frequent flyer miles, and Mark, you and I can go to Hawaii together.
Thanks,
What
Mark.
about me? Angela will take you too. I've got enough miles for everybody. No question. Yeah, no question about it. The U.S. was expected to win last night's opening game against the Austrians. They're ranked 11th out of the 12 teams up here. Still, 3-1, maybe 4-2 was more or less what everyone expected. But when the horn sounded last night, the U.S. had won the game 10-6. And the world's eyes were on the Minnesotans who led the way. Great night for Cloquet's Corey Millen. First period, U.S. leading at 1-0. Tony Granato right in front, over to Millen, who flips it in for a 2-0 lead. Now in the third, game well in hand. Watch the top of your screen. Millen, number 10, streaking down the left side. Great stick work, scores on the backhander for a 7-2 lead. Millen wound up with 5 points, but wasn't the only Minnesotan that sparkled. Here, Minnetonka's Dave Snuggerud scores on the rebound for a pretty goal. Also scoring, Rochester's Jim Johansson, as the U.S. went on to win the game 10-6. Now, what do you worry about after a game like this? Probably defense. The U.S. allowed 3 goals in a sluggish third period.
We came out of the gate pretty strong. Third period got a little sloppy, but that tends to happen in those kind of games.
So you walk away pretty satisfied with the way things went tonight?
We're pretty satisfied, but then again, we're not real happy with the third period.
All right, one of the guys working the game last night for ABC was Mike Eruzione, who, if you think back, captained the 1980 team that won the gold medal, the team famous for the line, "Do you believe in miracles?" by Al Michaels. Yesterday, I had a chance to talk to Eruzione, and I asked him if he saw any similarities between the two teams.
Yeah, I see some similarities in their character. There are a lot of players here that remind me of a lot of guys that I played with. So I think their chemistry is similar to ours. Whether breaks go their way or not, who knows? But, you know, they're a great bunch of people. They're really a lot of fun to be around.
Yep. One other hockey note this afternoon. Canada opened its Olympic schedule this afternoon by beating Poland 1-0. A little bit surprising because Canada was expected to be a much stronger team, especially in its game against Poland. We'll see what happens. Aside from Nick Thometz, who we talked about earlier tonight, the other Minnesotan expected to fare well up here is figure skater Jill Trenery. Now, should Debbie Thomas or West Germany's Katharina Witt make one mistake, Trenery could have a shot at the gold medal. Trenery was up here for yesterday's opening ceremonies and also got in a quick practice session before jumping on a plane for a trip back to her home base of Colorado Springs. Why not stay here? Probably 2 reasons. Number 1, there are too many distractions, but she also feels that she can get more work done back there.
I'll be home all next week in Colorado Springs, and I'm skating 6 hours a day, really making sure I get my rest, and then I'll be back ready for about 4 days before I compete.
Trenery will be gearing up for her first competition a week from Wednesday when she skates her compulsories. All right, that's it from Calgary for now. Right now, let's take you back to the studios and Mark Stevens with a busy day in sports.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it busy, Mark. You guys had all the activity up there. Let's talk about what happened last night. Although they clinched the WCHA title on Friday, the Gopher hockey team played like they had to win one last night. They went out, just destroyed Denver. Final last night at Mariucci Arena was 8-2. Gophers got things started just 2 minutes into the game. Kenny Jernanda, his 12th goal of the year. Gophers sweep the weekend series. They ended up clinching their first title in 5 years. And while the Gophers were clinching first place, well, the North Stars, they eased into last place, not just in the Norris Division. The North Stars are now in last place in the NHL. 7-3 losers last night at the hands of Quebec. Brian Bellows cut the lead 2-1 in the second period, but the Nordiques scored 4 more times in this third. The Stars are now winless in their last 6 games. On the hockey scoreboard this afternoon, 3 overtime games. Chicago beat Buffalo. Rangers and Islanders skated to a 4-all tie. Marcel Dion became the second all-time goal scorer for the Rangers in that game, and Washington beat Calgary 5-4 to auto racing. And today's Daytona 500 turned out to be a little more like a father and son picnic for the Allison family. Anything but, though, for the Pettys. Richard, the father, this is on the race's 106th lap. A spectacular crash. He got hit again there by Jeff Bodine. Amazingly, he escaped without injury. 50-year-old Bobby Allison became the oldest driver ever to win at Daytona. His son, Davey, finished second, the first 1-2 finish in the history of NASCAR. It was the 3rd career win for Allison overall. And the Strikers will be battling for first place when they play host to the Cleveland Force tonight. The Strikers are 1 game behind Cleveland. We'll have all the highlights for you of that game from the Met tonight at 10 o'clock.
Getting back to the Olympics, it can mean big business for the Calgary economy. So we're going to go back to Wendy Lubavitch to learn more about this. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Angela. That's very true. The Calgary economy is something that is really booming these days. Part of the reason is because of accommodations. You know, about 1.5 million people are expected to visit Calgary during the Winter Games, and there are some people who expect more than just the basic hotel room. Catherine Smith met 2 women who it is their business to make sure that they have these sort of accommodations. And it's for people who rarely have to ask the question, how much does it cost?
When it comes to throwing posh parties, Rosemary Rundle and Pamela Watkins are it in Calgary. That's why the Olympic Organizing Committee asked them to go into business to handle visiting royalty and corporate executives. Not always the easiest job.
Told you they took 4-hour lunch and breaks at the German consulate. They're not that kid.
Their company, Executive Accommodations, has about 35 top-of-the-line clients, people who prefer to remain anonymous, but people who've kept Rosemary and Pamela busy for the past 2 years getting everything ready.
All right, thanks a lot. That was a good story. We're going to have more from Calgary coming up later tonight.
See you at 10.